4 o'clock on the dot? Okay.
4 o'clock on the dot.
She's gonna, I know it's going to start talking. She's going to start talking. All right. Hi, guys. My name is Michelle Burke. I am a psychic medium. I am a metaphysical educator. I teach classes. I do a lot of my classes are also on Zoom. So if you can't come around me, I'm in Illinois. If you can't be at a class, literally you can be on there a lot of times on Zoom. Okay. So they're always open. Make sure that you guys follow my website so you can see what classes that I am teaching. I am very much into healing work and stuff like that. Also, excuse me, besides the fact that I'm a metaphysical educator, that I'm a psychic medium, I'm also an author. My first book came out November 27th of last year. It's called Michelle's Quest. It's literally about my journey, how I got into the metaphysical field and how I had to deal with some of the obstacles. My second book is already being worked on right now, and I want you to watch for it. It's called Michelle's Breaking the Chain. It's 30 Days of Healing. It is my life story and how I got to where I am today. Most people that are psychics and mediums have been through trauma. Literally, that's what opens the doorway for us to hear things. We all have the voices, but that's literally what opens us up and blows us up to be an empath, okay? Besides that, and I think January, I made my first Oracle deck, so I have my own angel cards that you can also purchase. We have them over there. We are booth number 10. We have my books there, and I'll be happy to sign them for you. It's $15. We have hard copies. We have my Oracle cards are over there. We are also doing permanent jewelry, which is like my silver gold, or it's these guys right here. Buy one, get one half off. And what else are we doing? Feathers in the hair and selling crystals and stuff. That's a little FYI. Okay, welcome in. So I like to always start off a class with a little gift just to wake you guys up. Please hold. Yes, you get your own penis.
I still have it from last.
Yeah, well, you collect your penises from every lecture. But Dan, for you, I decided you did. I got you a new pocket. You need that for protection. Okay. I couldn't give you another penis, Dan. Everybody needs a little penis in their life, okay? There you go. Anybody who knows me knows I give out penises at every class. If you ever get the same penis twice, let me know. It could be a good sign. I am an angel. Oops, sorry. There you go. If you rub it, it might grow. All right. Now, if you have not already scanned this, you want to scan it. All right. Did you just put your penis in your bra? Oh, I saw your hand go by your boob. That's okay. If you did, nobody was judging. Okay. But if you have not scanned this before you leave, you want to scan it. And you just want to put a little thing about Valparaiso on there, because at the end of this event tomorrow night, we're going to be pulling up some names, and then I'm going to do Monday morning.
Yeah, I'm going to have to help do it.
Yeah. It's going to be posted on one of my social pages. So it's either Instagram. If you're not on Instagram, find somebody who is, because I will be giving a free reading. A free reading with me. Have a seat, Dal. And here you need a penis. A free reading with me means between 30 and 45 minutes. You don't have to. I am in Joliet, Illinois. You don't have to come there. I have read everywhere from Australia to Africa. I've read all around the world. Okay. I do it on FaceTime. In Australia, I have to do a little bit differently because they don't have our phone system. But here, love. Welcome, Red. Here's your little penis. Welcome. All right. All right. So when I come here, usually to talk about, and if you've ever heard me speak before, is I want to talk about the voices within, because I am no different than anybody in this room. We all have voices inside of us all the time. All right. Should I smile? Is it recording, or are you taking a picture? Is it a recording or a picture? Let me know if I got to look good. Oh, damn it. I was posing. Okay. All right. You ruined it for me. I thought it was popular. Anyways, yeah. Anyways, it's about the voices that we all have inside of our head, because we all have our angels and our spirit guides that are constantly talking to us. And the thing is that we have to learn how to discern the difference of the voices. All right. And that's why I think it's so important that everybody understands this. That I, again, am no different than you are. The only difference is that this has become my life choice. So I had a life choice once that I wanted to be skinny, so I signed up for Planet Fitness, and I paid my dues every month, and I drive by and I wave. One arm is looking really good. away. So I think that's going to make me physically fit. When it came to the metaphysical field, that became my workout, my gym. It was a full-time thing, and especially in the beginning decades ago. And I've been doing this since my first voice was when I was about 6 years old. Okay, you can hear about that in my book, and it was kind of awkward because it was literally the voice of an ant is what I heard. I hear insects, I hear birds, I hear animals, I hear trees, I hear everything around us that has a life energy source to it. Okay. So being like that is really kind of difficult. Have a seat, ladies. Don't be scared. You get a free penis. Come on, sit down. Yes. Only if you sit down do you get a penis. And this means you just.
Now you've definitely.
That penis hit the ground, so who'd you just break up with? Or no, just kidding. Okay. All right. So, yeah, send a picture.
She already. She was predestined to get the penis.
Oh, yes. Aren't we all? Okay. Anyway, so the voices that we all have inside of our head is our loved ones, our spirit guides. The difference between both of them, there's two. Our spirit guides are people that have lived here on earth before and they have crossed over. Not do they necessarily have to be your people. So let me explain that. Your spirit guide could be your neighbor 2 blocks down or somebody you've never met before. But what happens with spirit guides is spirit guides are ones that have lived on earth before and have crossed over. So let's say, for example, I crossed over because I was hit by a bus, right? And all of a sudden somebody just had a car accident. They were hit. That spirit guide from a different family can jump in like, oh, I know how to deal with this. I'm jumping in to help that person heal. So it doesn't necessarily mean it's your person. Angels have never lived on earth. Spirit guides have. Angels can come to earth. They can stick around for a little bit, but they don't live on earth. All right. So there are several different voices that we hear. Part of what I try to teach people is the discernment of voice. I can go into a whole thing, and I've done podcasts on spirituality versus Christianity because they're like, are we supposed to be listening to the other side? Yes, it is. If you want to bring up the Bible, it is in Corinthians 12, verse 1 through Corinthians 2, verse 1 through 12. It talks about the gifts, and one of them is the discernment of spirit. We understand the voices that are inside of us, okay? We have 3 sets of voices. We have our conscious voice. This is the voice that says, I want to go to McDonald's. I'm hungry. Okay, that's our earthbound voice. It gives us our natural instinct and drive. The second voice that we have is our spirit guide voice, our angel voice. This is the one that says, don't turn on Romeo Road, take a different route. And you're like, but why? I always turn that way. They're guiding you and warning you there's a problem ahead. So when you hear those little nudges in your head, listen to them, okay? That's your spirit guides trying to talk to you. When you feel it, when you're around somebody and you're like, oh, you just make me feel really uncomfortable. No, you don't really. I'm just working. I'm working it right now, okay? You make me feel really uncomfortable. Trust that. That's your spirit guides talking to you like, warning, back away. The problem is the third voice that we are all born with. And that is the loudest and the darkest voice. That is the voice that creates anxiety, fear, anxiousness. Anything negative you feel comes from the third voice because our spirit guides will never speak to us in a harmful way. So when I'm talking about going to McDonald's, this voice is like, go ahead, fat ass, go to McDonald's and get 2 cheeseburgers. It puts me down and makes me shamed for the fact I want to run to McDonald's. So that is the voice we don't want to listen to. The hardest part for me when I got into this industry was learning how to shut down that third voice. Because literally in the beginning of my time, it caused doubt in my readings. I would hear something and I would be like, oh, I don't think I should say that out loud. So I wouldn't say it and they would bring it up. And I was like, and I freaking heard it and I didn't say it because of fear or anxiety because of that third voice. In order to shut down all voices in my head, because I am ADD, I am hyperactive. You can't tell how fast I talk. You're like, yes, you are. And you only give me 30 minutes. I got a lot of shit out, okay? It's been 40 years of history here. Okay. So to shut down those voices, I literally hummed. Like I worked in the beauty industry also. I'm there during the day. I'm a teacher there. So yeah, I saw you look over there. Okay. So I deal with crowds of people all day long. So I had to shut down the voices because especially when you work in certain fields like the beauty industry, the nursing industry, any field where you are with a crowd of people, you've got all of them coming at you all the time, the spirits from everywhere. So I had to shut the voices off. So I would drive the salon nuts because I hummed all day long. And I didn't even know I did it. It became a natural instinct to protect myself to stop hearing. So when you hum, guys, right now, if you take a second and you hum, and I'm going to make you all do it. 1, 2, 3, everybody hum. You're not thinking. You can't think a thought. Nothing, no voices can jump in your head when you hum. So humming literally shuts off every voice in your head, conscious, spirit, and the dark voice. So when there's too many voices coming at you, hum it out for a second. It literally, the vibration shuts them all off. They know to be done. Because of the fact that I spent 10 years just humming to shut all these voices, the vibration shuts them all off. They know to be done. Because of the fact that I spent 10 years just humming to shut all these voices off, just humming to shut all these voices off. It doesn't bother me anymore. And literally, does it not try to jump into my head once in a while? Hell yeah, I'm human. So it's like, oh, let's mess with Michelle today. And I literally laugh at it because it's like, you can't mess with me anymore. If I get this negative thought, I seriously like scuff at it, like, nice try. Okay. And don't think that the universe won't try to mess with you in a negative way. And I say this all the time because it literally has happened to me. I walk outside and I walked in my driveway and I had a flat tire. And I was like, oh, that dark voice was like, oh, I got her. And I laughed and I was like, cool, I get a new tire. Moving forward. You can't mess with me. The voices that we generally hear, those 3 voices generally come in our own voice. I get people that come to me for readings all the time, and they're like, I don't hear my mom. I don't hear my dad. It's not in their voice. It is in your voice. It's kind of like when you're sending a telegram. It's in your own, it's in your own voice. Does it mean it's the only voice that you can hear? No. There are moments that I've heard actual voices that were not my own voice, which is a very rare phenomenon. Okay, and I make sure that I point that out, because if you hear voices all the time that are not your own voice, there's something else going on, and we need to talk about that later. But only in my 40 years, there's probably maybe a dozen times that I've been blessed with that phenomenon where I got to hear a voice that was not my own from somebody from the other side. And it generally is in certain state of mind when your mind is the most relaxed. I'm either about to fall asleep, I am asleep, or you are physically exhausted or drained or sick. So when you are like, your body's flatlining a little bit because like everything's like, you can't keep fighting, the energy is not going, you calm down and all of a sudden you hear that voice. My daughter went into brain surgery last January. She was in there for 14 hours. They had found a tumor in her head. While she was in surgery, about 6 hours into her surgery, I'm in the waiting room and I literally heard her say, Mom. And my head whipped around thinking, why am I hearing my daughter's voice? Like I thought she was in the room with me. But I realized she wasn't. It wasn't that she was, well, I knew she wasn't in the room with me. But what I was hearing was the fact that because of the fact that they were tampering with her brain, she was so heavily sedated that she literally was able to cross over. And she was calling out to me. And I'm like, I'm right here, kiddo. I'm right here with you. We're going to make it. Okay. Whew. That one hit my heart. And she did. But it was 14 hours of scary surgery. But I knew she was going to be fine because they were all around us. Okay. So sometimes when we hear those voices, they come like that. Like just that memory is like a blow to your chest. And it can be scary. But I knew that I knew she was going to be fine. And when she went in there, I put a bubble of light around her. I asked for every angel to come and wrap them around. But what I asked for was nothing but mercy. I said, Father, if she's going to go, be merciful and take her quick. If she's going to stay, let her heal and have mercy on her soul. That's all you ask for. When we leave here, we are just changing our energy. We are not, I never use the word die. Nobody dies. We don't die. Trees don't die. The worms don't die. None of us die. We change our energy form. That's all we do. So when somebody crosses over, they are still right there with you. They are still talking to you. When you think about somebody who has crossed over and like all of a sudden like they jump in your head, it's not because you thought them up. It's because they were right there next to you. So it's like they're literally right next to you, and they're like, Psh, I'm right here. And you're like, oh, I'm so sad because mom's here. You shouldn't be. You literally should smile like, hey, mom, how's it going? Then you acknowledge their presence. The more you acknowledge the presence of those that are on the other side, the more you're able to keep connecting to them. And then you have a full-blown conversation with them. So like if I'm talking to one of my loved ones on the other side, I'm literally like when my sister jumps in my head, I'd be like, hey Deb, how you doing? You good? And she like I'll have a whole conversation in my head. And I know half the time we want to like question, like, is this really a conversation or is this all in my mind? If you ever question if it's a spirit guide talking to you, you ask them. If I literally ask a spirit guide, is this an angel talking to me right now? They cannot lie. Okay, so the conversation will continue. The dark side is not allowed to lie and say, yes, I am an angel. I'm not a spirit from the light. Okay, and understand that the darkness is just because we need a yin and a yang. We need both sides to us. So we have to have that conflict. Otherwise, things would go way too smooth. All right. Questions so far? I threw a whole lot at it, you guys. You're like, I didn't even want to sit down here. And I got a penis, and now she's like looking around at me. Yeah. Welcome to my world. Okay. Yes, ma'am.
I wanted to ask you, sometimes I wonder, like, the mom, she passed away about 15 years ago.
Uh-huh.
And sometimes I wonder, like, is she okay? Did she cross over? Is she still
Okay.
there?
All right. I'm glad you brought that up. Okay. So I know a lot of times the first question everybody always wants to know about their loved ones is, are they okay? 1000%. We are the ones that are not okay. We want them here with us, right? But they are, the second they detach from this earth, they are 1000% okay. Those that have crossed over, that have like dealt with like mental illness, stuff that's messing with their head, those that have crossed over because they're of unnatural causes, they took their own life, whatever it is, they are okay. This is really hard to explain to people because you don't want to accept this. But I believe in soul contracts, and some educators will tell you different. We all have our own philosophy, and we are never supposed to all know the answer. Imagine that. There would be no imagination if we all knew, and that would kind of like, we can't all believe the same thing all the time. But it is believed that your mother, before she got here, she picked her day of birth, she picked the family she wanted to be around, and she picked her last day. So she picked her final day. Like, my contract ends on this date. It didn't mean she had to cross over that day. She might have picked a contract for an earlier date. We are given free will to change everything, no matter, even if we picked our lessons, we can be like, I don't like it. I'm bailing out of this. I don't like this idea. I don't want to do this. We are given free will all the way to the end. How many times have you heard of somebody who has flatlined and they come back? They chose to stay. The hardest thing to tell this to somebody who has lost a child. Like, why would my child not choose to stay? Because that energy used you to be mom, and I wasn't planning on staying. Thank you so much for being my mom for the moment, but I didn't plan on staying. And it's hard for the parents stuck behind. But yes, your mother is 100% okay. Okay? Always trust that. When our loved ones cross over, are they mad because we weren't there? No. When they cross over, and that's why we come here, is because we feel nothing but love and light on that side. And honestly, this sounds really sad to say, but that's kind of boring. It is kind of boring. The life of lilies and flowers and cotton candy. Like, dude, I want to like experience something. So we come down here to ride the roller coasters, to feel the adrenaline rush, to feel the fears. Like, what are they feeling down there? So this is when we jump into a body, we choose to experience it. Okay? One more time.
Do they reincarnate again?
100%.
Like
So
right away, or?
it's up to them. We can choose to when we want to come back. Literally, the young man who is sitting not in my booth, the young man who is sitting right over there, right across from us, number 2, he is my reincarnated son. Okay, and here's the crazy story. I had lost a child, and when Jesse was born, he was actually born to my sister-in-law. And when she first brought Jesse over, he was a very cranky little child. And she's like, he doesn't like anybody. And I said, can I just take him out of the room for a minute, get him away from people? I took him into the bedroom and I was holding him, and our souls locked. I looked into his eyes and he looked into mine, and I smiled, and I was like, we know each other, don't we? And he just like cooed in my arms. And I was like, I felt so attached to this child, right? This relationship lasted his whole life. So when they left, my husband said, I told him, I go, Jesse's my son. And he goes, are you going to tell Vicky that's his sister? I go, yeah, let me tell your sister that her kid's my kid. But it was funny because I did tell Vicky, I said, that is my son reincarnated. And she was so cool. She's like a diehard hippie, long hair. She's like, that's beautiful. And I was like, cool, you took it really well. But literally, the gentleman who's standing right there, if you see him standing there playing with his beard right now, that's Jesse. That is my son. And he calls me mom, and he is like, he's my son. Everybody knows that he is. He doesn't match his family like the rest of the kids, whispering because in case they're watching. But he's not like any of the rest of the family. Like he is literally my child. So yes, he chose to come back to me, but in a different family. But our souls were attached. But it's crazy because as you come back as a child, our child mind and our adolescent mind are our closest to God mind. The middle is where the world catches us up, and we can't hear so well because we're worried about the bills and this and that and all the shit that we like consumed. So we stopped hearing them. So when Jesse was little, every time there was a family party, he was by my side. And he didn't know why. As he got older, when he went through puberty era, he would stay across the room, but I would see him staring at me because puberty starts changing what we see and what we feel. So he didn't know why he was attached to me, but he would stare at me. And I would like look at him from a distance like, it's okay. And then he came back into my life. Like as he got older, he just came right back into it. So yes, does it necessarily mean they're going to reincarnate like right now? No, they have a choice. We have, even on the other side, we have free will and a choice. You might choose to leave and cross over and like, I ain't doing this again. No. The one thing you can tell about souls that have been here multiple times, the harder their life, the longer they've been here. Because we don't start off coming here wanting all the hard stuff. Like you might pick this, I mean, this is not, I'm not trying to like make this sound like it's not a big deal, but I want to come to Earth, and I just want to see what it feels like to lose my dog. That's all. I just want to lose my dog. I don't want to see nothing else. And they come to Earth, and all they lose is their dog. The rest of their life seems fine. I'm not saying losing the dog is like that simple, but the rest of their life is like, and you look at these people like you don't even know what hell is on Earth. Like you've suffered from nothing because they're young souls. They didn't want all that garbage. Each time we come back, we take harder and harder lessons. So that it gets, so like when you see somebody who's gone through multiple amount of trauma and pain, they're very old souls and they choose to keep coming back and chew up more stuff. We can choose never to come back. I might just stay there, but it's a choice. All right. Any other questions? Yes. Hold on one sec. Mm-hmm. 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 It's going to be me next time. All right. Does that actually happen? No. Do you want to know? Okay. Let me explain something when it comes to earthbound stuff. They don't give two craps about it. She was asking, like if you like, no. It's really loud in here. And usually we have a mic. But people have asked before, like, why can't I win the lotto? Like, I'm manifesting. I win the big house. I win the relationship. I get the big, right? But it doesn't mean nothing to the spiritual realm. Nothing. So, like, you can manifest that money and stuff. It, okay, well, so let's say the house that I live in right now. I visualized my house. Like, I knew exactly what I wanted. Okay, so I can manifest that, but did I set that in my contract when I got here? Number one is an issue. I may have chose to be a homeless person. So I can manifest it and hope for it. But the thing about manifesting is that it's completely different than what people think. I can't just desire something and manifest it. Otherwise, I would have it in my backyard all the time, right? The thing is that when they say if you want to manifest something, the real way to manifest something is that you have to first write out your intentions. This is what I want. Then after you write that out, you have to go stand in front of a mirror. And then you ask yourself, how do I help obtain this? So you have to be part of that. So then your spirit guides are like, okay, what are we working on? So because you are part of whatever you're manifesting, you don't get to just deliver it and drop it in your yard, which is what people I think, if I just think it, I get it. No, they will help you get there, but not always on your timeline. Okay, so they can aim towards it, but again, it doesn't just drop in your yard. Did it answer your question? Keep going then. Give me the question.
Well, I mean, it's like, say something happens in your life, and it's like you're saying, well, I know it's going to be okay. I know it's going to come out. Or like a boyfriend. Say if you had a boyfriend and you broke up, I know he's going to come back. I know he's going to come back.
What voice are you listening to? Your conscious voice?
That's what I'm saying.
Right.
Can you tell between voices?
Okay, because number one, we cannot, because we all have free will. Excuse me, but I'm about to be a lesbian, okay?
Oh,
All right.
okay.
Okay. So let's say that we break up, right? And I keep saying, but I want her back. I want her back. I want her to come back to me. That's my conscious voice. That's not my spirit voice. Because my spirit voice knows our time is done. We don't need to be back together. But I also say, not for today. So when I talk to my spirit guides, I'm like, today we're not going to be back together. It doesn't mean I can't go back because I have free will. We can go back later, but today there's a lesson I have to learn. So understanding that our desires are not what we planned out for. Does that make better sense? I'm sorry, we're not lesbians anymore, but it was so nice to know you. It's over between us. Okay? All right.
No hard feelings.
No, it's, you want another dick? Sorry. Okay. So it didn't work out. What was your question?
You said that we choose to come back, and when we come back, whatever.
Mhm.
Is that true with animals too?
100%. The question was, and I'm going to tell you what the question was. I knew you were going to say that. I must be psychic. Okay. The question was, can we choose to come back as animals, and does it work with animals? Can they reincarnate? 100%. We can choose to come back in an animal form. An animal can choose to come back in a human form. We're all just spirits of different physical body.
Can animals come back in another animal?
Yes, 100%.
As the same form that they were, just a different one?
So, like, are you saying if I'm a German Shepherd, can I come back as a German Shepherd? Or a different Chihuahua? Oh, I want a Shepherd. I want to be a Chihuahua now. I must be really wanting to suffer. They're ankle kickers.
Well,
100%. Because what is the lesson that dog is going to learn by changing breeds? Think about that. What would I learn by changing breeds? If I went from a big, strong German Shepherd to a Chihuahua, I want to see what it's like to be the small guy. I want to be the ankle biter. So yeah, 100%. We can change forms. We literally are all nothing but energy balls. Have you ever met somebody and you're like, oh my God, you seem so familiar, but I don't know why you seem familiar. And you like go through that. Where did you grow up? Where did you live? And you're like, I ain't got nothing, right? The reason why is because of the resin we all carry. So it's kind of like if I walked past your sister, I keep pointing at you. I'm sorry. I'm going to move on because she feels like I'm in love. She feels like I'm in love with her right now. Okay. But if I walked past your sister at Walmart, right? That's all I did is I walked past her. I literally absorb her energy and her resin. Literally, we have so many thousand bytes of energy involved in us. Being in crowds like this is really hard for empaths because we pick up everybody's pieces of stuff, right? So I walked past your sister. 2 years later, I see you in a crowd. I'm like, oh my God, you seem really familiar to me. Do I know you? And you're like, no, we go through the whole, where'd you grow up? How old are you? You know, whatever. There's no connection. And then all of a sudden, I realized a later date, I was connected to your sister because I crossed her path. We never even met, but I got attached to her energy and you were attached to her energy. So we are now connected. That's like these two guys right here in the front row. I love these guys from the moment I met them. It was a year ago here. I walked past them and I'm like these two guys right here in the front row. I love these guys from the moment I met them. It was a year ago here. I walked past them and I'm like, oh my God. I saw them here. I was like, I'm so glad they just have that loving energy that you're connected to spiritually. So I do have no doubt that our energy has passed before in other relationships or other spirit events that they've walked through that I've walked through. So like we get connected to people just like that. Other questions? Where are we at on time? 4:29. It gives me 1 minute to break down here. Before we break down, let me ask if anybody has a question, and then I'm going to ask a question. No? Okay. Give me one. Yes. It's not that you can take it back. No, we can't like strip the energy off of us. We can cleanse ourselves, but once we're like molecules. So we still have a piece of that person always, but I can choose to clean myself and ground myself. So if I walked past her sister and she was not a nice person, I can clean myself and put a white light around me to protect me, which is what I have to do when I do events. I put a bubble around me so that I don't absorb other people's energy. So we can do that. Once I've absorbed energy, I then have to ground myself and be like, I'll keep the light, but I don't want the darkness that goes with them. Because that's why some people will be like, I'm in a room full of people and all of a sudden I feel so dark and heavy. No, you didn't detach properly and you didn't cleanse yourself before you went in and you didn't ground. So yes, we can keep, I don't need everybody. When I'm done with a reading, I don't feel your pain anymore. When you sit down with me, I feel your physical pain, your mental, your emotional pain. When the veil closes, I let it go with you. I don't keep it with me. All right. I kind of wipe it off. Okay. And when I do Reiki healing, energy healing, I have to wipe it off and let it go. So I don't carry it with me. Does that help? All right. Sir, can I talk to you for a second? Okay. The first thing I'm going to talk about is the male energy that stepped forward when you sat down. Okay. It's either a father or a grandfather energy that's standing right behind you. Understand that? All right. He's coming with a heavy heart. He's like, when I was earthbound, I was not as sensitive and as emotional as I should have been. Okay. He's as that now that he's on the other side, he realizes that I did not do the best I could. And he just wants you to know that. Okay. And he wants to give you his love and energy now from the light side. Okay. All right. You're very welcome. All right. Somebody want to tell me why there's chickens running around here? Who's attached to farms or chickens? Yes, that's the way it works. Yeah, most people I deal with are in the past. Yes. Okay. So for some reason, from the past, there's the chickens running around here. So there's a connection between you and the chickens, or your family that was involved in the chickens. They brought them forward, and they just let them run wild around here. Okay. That's how hard it is to do what I do, because anybody would think I was psychotic to bring up the chickens. Okay. That's what I'm creating doubt. Because literally, when I said that, I was like, nobody's gonna claim the freaking chickens. So as a reader, you want to just like shut down those crazy thoughts. Like, I don't want to bring that out there. But I was like, I'm just throwing it out there. And literally, when you hear something, you don't hear it on accident. Okay. Any other questions before they throw me out of this corner? Go ahead. They just want you to know that they were around. So they were like doing that as like, they were doing it as a show. They were like, throw the chickens out here. Just show her that we're around. Yes. Okay, that's a good question. She said, how do you know when you hear voices if it's the angels or the darkness? Number one, you know it's the dark side when there's malice and ill intent or meanness around them. Okay, the one thing I will tell you, and people don't like when I say this, but if I said to you, January 16th, so-and-so is going to cross, I'm not allowed that information. I'm not given that information. But guess what? On January 16th, I'm about to throw a boulder in front of your friend's car. We are not given that information. That's the dark side. Okay? When it gives absolutes, that's not a spirit talking, because of free will and free choice. So we can't give absolutes. So when people are like, can you tell me when I'm going to die? No, I don't know that. That's between you and them. So if you get absolutes from something, it makes me leery. Otherwise, if they are with malice and dislike, you just know. I know. I don't know if I answered that all the way for you. Okay. Yes. Can somebody add, like, okay, I'll walk over here because I can't hear you. Go ahead. One of your friends.
My friend, but okay, so let's say maybe, I guess if you're seeing figures
Mm-hmm.
in any form,
Mm-hmm.
maybe even possibly people
Mm-hmm.
that may not be people, how do you tell between spiritual
And darkness. Good question. So the question was, if I see spirit form, how do you know between darkness and, what was it? Or if they're light people, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
If you try to talk to them or they talk to you,
Mm-hmm.
answer them, they don't talk back.
sometimes understand though that sometimes when it comes to, remind me to go back to this for a minute. When we talk to somebody on the other, when we talk to spirit form, trust me, I can see people walking into the room all the time. I see forms walking. It doesn't mean they want to talk to me. Like when you walk through Walmart, does everybody want to talk to you? They don't. So I literally could have them walk through a room and they're just passing by and they didn't really stop to chat. So yes, when they talk about like dark entities and stuff like that, it's very rare form. It's a very rare thing to have an entity. Okay. They like to put them up in movies and shows, but it's not that common of an occurrence. I've been doing this for 40 years. I can tell you how many times I ever felt something that was dark. And it wasn't even that it was dark. It was a soul that was just still trying to figure out what happened. And literally was walking down the street outside of my house like, I don't even know what happened. Because they didn't detach. They they were still trying to figure out what they could fix here. Or that happens when I do a psychic detective class, and sometimes the soul is still trying to give us and feed us information. It doesn't mean that they aren't on the other side. It just means that they're trying to help us here. So they can cross back and forth. It's very rare are they ever stuck. Okay? Yeah. Any other questions before they throw me out? All right. Well, thank you guys, first of all, for coming, but do not jump out. Underneath one of these chairs is a something. What is it? Something has been taped under a chair. A crystal taped under the chair. You get to keep the crystal and get to walk over and find a bracelet. If it's not under your chair, check the chair immediately next to you. And we've got the winner. Woo! Go over to booth 10 and grab your bracelet. And you get to keep the crystal too. Thank you guys very much for coming. Thank you. I'm taking my little penises with me.
I want a reading.
Okay. Also, yes, I do readings. I know she has my schedule over there. I will be here again also tomorrow. Normal readings with me are between 30 and 45 minutes. We're doing short ones here but I've read everywhere from Australia to Africa. I can do it on FaceTime and I do it in person. I'm in Illinois. All right. Okay. I'm going to breathe for a minute. How we do? Thanks, guys.
I'm gonna go get one of your books if you can sign it for
100%. Bye. You still got to hug me. I know you got a hot chick, but we're friends. Come on.
I don't know how to end live.
Oh, crap.
We did have one person. That's the only
Please,
person who
I
said.
lost my 5 siblings and felt lost. Any messages, please? 5 siblings. First of all, Rose Garden, I want to tell you that I'm sorry. And second, I want to tell you, please don't post on social media who you've lost because it's kind of our job. But I can tell you that they are in a safe place. They are in a good place. And I'm sorry that you are left behind. But they're just one voice away. Okay? Thank you guys so much. I'll see you guys on Tuesday night, 8 p.m. Central Time. Live readings.